At 70, if you can still do these 6 things, you're winning at life. Reaching the age of 70 is in itself a remarkable achievement. It's a milestone that not everyone gets to celebrate, and it carries with it a kind of quiet dignity, the kind earned not through trophies or headlines, but through endurance, experience, and resilience. But beyond just getting there, what does thriving at 70 look like? What does it really mean to be winning at life in your 7th decade? The answer isn't found in bank accounts, titles, or grand achievements. It's found in your body, your mind, your spirit, and how you still engage with the world around you. If you're 70 and you can still do the following 6 things, you're not just surviving, you're truly living. Let's explore each of these wins and why they matter more than you might realize. 1. Climbing stairs without gasping. Your heart is still in the game. It might not seem like much, just a regular walk up a flight of stairs. Maybe it's to your bedroom, maybe it's to grab something from the kitchen, or maybe it's visiting a friend on the 2nd floor. But if you can do this without gasping for air, grabbing the railing in desperation, or feeling like you need a nap afterward, you are way ahead of the curve. Climbing stairs is a hidden full-body test. It engages your cardiovascular system, your leg muscles, your balance, and your stamina, all at once. In fact, some doctors refer to stair climbing as a silent stress test. According to the American Heart Association, aerobic capacity naturally declines with age, by as much as 40% from your 30s to your 70s. So if you're still able to take those stairs confidently, your heart and lungs are still putting in solid work. In one European study, researchers asked participants over 60 to climb 3 flights of stairs in under 90 seconds. Those who managed to do it were significantly less likely to experience cardiovascular events in the following decade. That's not just impressive, it's predictive. Something as mundane as stairs can literally forecast your health future. So if you still tackle the stairs instead of avoiding them, maybe even skipping the elevator by choice, you're not just staying mobile, you're living proof that your body is still vibrant and capable. And every time you reach the top without needing a break, it's not just another floor, it's another small, silent victory. 2. Remembering yesterday's lunch, your mind is still sharp. Wait, what did I eat yesterday? It's a surprisingly telling question. If you can recall your previous meals, you might think it's just a sign that you enjoyed the food, or maybe that it wasn't anything special. But this small act of recollection is actually a window into the health of your brain. Memory is one of the first functions we notice shifting as we age. According to the Alzheimer's Association, around 11% of adults over 65 experience some form of memory loss. But the ability to remember what you ate, who you spoke to, or what you talked about at lunch yesterday is a sign that your cognitive gears are still turning smoothly. Why does this matter? Because memory isn't just about data recall. It's about connection. Remembering the little things, what you ate, what you felt, what someone said, keeps you emotionally rooted and socially engaged. It also protects your sense of identity. Activities like reading, writing, social interaction, or even mentally reliving your day strengthen memory like exercise strengthens muscle. Pair those habits with a diet rich in omega-3s, berries, leafy greens, and antioxidants, and you're giving your brain every reason to stay agile. So, if you can sit at dinner and say, "Yesterday? Oh, I had tomato soup, a tuna sandwich, and that lemon tart I love," you're not just reminiscing. You're flexing cognitive strength, staying connected to your past, and creating a bridge to your present. That is not small. That's powerful. 3. Balancing on one leg, your body still trusts you. Try this. Stand on one leg. No grabbing the counter, no leaning against the wall. Just you and your balance. Can you hold it for 10 seconds? If yes, you've just passed one of the most underrated longevity tests out there. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that individuals in their 70s who could balance on one leg for at least 10 seconds had a 50% lower risk of death from all causes over the next several years. That's not a small statistic. It's a dramatic reminder of how closely balance is linked to survival. Why? Because balance is complex. It requires muscular strength, neurological coordination, spatial awareness, and even vision, all working together in harmony. It's not something you can fake or force. And it becomes increasingly difficult with age, which makes maintaining it even more impressive. Good balance means fewer falls, more independence, and greater freedom in your daily life. It means you can shower safely, go on walks, garden, dance, and play with grandkids without fear. So next time you're brushing your teeth or waiting for the kettle to boil, test your balance. Stand like a flamingo for a few seconds. If you can do it, smile. You've just proven your body still trusts you to stay upright in this world. That's a win few people appreciate enough. 4. Laughing freely. Your spirit is still bright. Laughter may seem simple, even trivial. But if you're still laughing at 70, not the polite chuckle, but the deep rolling kind that makes your eyes water and your stomach ache, you are showing the world something rare. A spirit that refuses to give up its light. With age comes a heavier awareness of life's weight. Grief, illness, loss, change. You've lived through things that would quiet anyone's joy. But if you're still able to find humor in the everyday, if you can laugh at a mistake, a memory, or a classic movie you've seen a dozen times, then you are not worn down by time. You are still lifting it. Laughter is more than an emotional release. It's a physical healer. Researchers at Stanford found that laughter lowers cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. It boosts immune function, increases circulation, and even improves your tolerance for physical pain. In short, laughter doesn't just lift your mood, it strengthens your resilience from the inside out. And let's not overlook your impact on others. If you're the one still cracking jokes, telling funny stories, or sending your friends into fits of giggles, you're doing more than entertaining. You're creating joy in spaces that might otherwise feel quiet or lonely. That makes you a kind of healer too. The ability to laugh freely shows that your emotional core remains intact, playful, and present. It means you haven't let the weight of life rob you of levity. And in a world that can sometimes feel too serious, your laughter is a gentle act of rebellion. A way of saying, I'm still here and I still see the joy in being alive. So if your house still echoes with your own laughter, or better yet, the laughter of others because of you, consider that a celebration of emotional strength. That joy isn't just survival, it's thriving. 5. Keeping friendships alive. You're rich in what matters most by 70, many things fade. Titles, possessions, even certain ambitions. But the one thing that never loses its value is connection. The people who still call you. The ones you share coffee, laughter, and long walks with. The ones who check in, not because they have to, but because they want to. If you still have that, you are among the wealthiest people alive. Friendship is not just emotional comfort, it's physiological protection. Numerous studies, including research from Harvard and the National Institute on Aging, have shown that strong social ties can help prevent cognitive decline, reduce the risk of depression, and even extend your lifespan. In fact, the quality of your relationships is as important to your health as quitting smoking or exercising regularly. Unfortunately, loneliness is increasingly common among older adults. Around 30% of those over 70 experience significant loneliness, often quietly and without fanfare. People move, pass on, or drift away, and that natural shift can leave many feeling isolated. But if you've made the effort to maintain friendships, whether it's a decades-old pal you still talk to every week, or a neighbor you now walk with every morning, you've protected something sacred. You've chosen connection over convenience. And that choice is a kind of courage. In Okinawa, Japan, home to some of the world's longest living people, elders are part of lifelong social groups called moai. These circles offer not just companionship, but purpose and shared care. Whether you call it a book club, a breakfast crew, or your inner circle, having people who share life with you gives your days a richness that no money can buy. So if you're still picking up the phone, sending texts, inviting someone over, or saying yes to a new connection, keep doing it. Keep nurturing what nurtures you. Because friendships, in the end, are what carry us through both celebration and sorrow. They're not just the spice of life, they are its glue. 6. Cooking for yourself, a recipe for independence expanded. At first glance, cooking might not seem like a big deal. It's just food, right? Boiling an egg, tossing a salad, simmering a pot of soup. Simple, everyday acts. But when you're 70 and still stepping into your kitchen with purpose, you're doing something far more meaningful than preparing a meal. You're preserving independence, and that is no small feat. Cooking requires more than just ingredients and time. It calls on your body's coordination, your brain's memory and sequencing, your emotional motivation, and your creativity. You have to stand, reach, plan, measure, and focus. You're engaging multiple systems at once, and doing so with intention. That's health in motion. A long-term Swedish study tracked older adults who regularly cooked their own meals. The results were striking. Those individuals had a 25% lower risk of developing chronic conditions like heart disease and type 2 diabetes. Why? Because cooking your own food tends to result in fewer preservatives, more whole ingredients, and greater awareness of what you're putting into your body. But even beyond the health science, cooking is a deeply human act. It's an act of love, especially when it's for yourself. It says, I matter enough to be fed well. Maybe you're preparing a classic dish that reminds you of your childhood. Or maybe you're trying a new recipe from a friend. Maybe it's simple, toast and tea. Or maybe you go all out and bake a pie from scratch. It doesn't have to be fancy to be meaningful. The act itself says something powerful. I'm still in charge of my life. I still find joy in creating something for myself. And if you're cooking for a spouse, a friend, or a neighbor, you're not just nourishing bodies. You're offering comfort, memory, and care. Meals bring people together. They stir up stories. They become rituals. So, yes, if you're 70 and still cooking, you're not just making food. You're living independently, creatively, and lovingly. And that's not a small win. That's a daily victory. These small wins are actually big victories, expanded. So often we think of success as something flashy. Trophies, milestones, wealth, achievements. But real lasting victories, the kind that matter deeply in the later chapters of life, are much quieter. They look like this: choosing the stairs instead of the elevator, remembering what you ate yesterday and the story behind it, standing steady on one leg for 10 seconds, laughing so hard your stomach hurts, picking up the phone to call a friend, or receiving one of those calls, stirring a pot of soup and tasting it with pride. These things may seem small to an outsider. But to someone who's lived, who's loved, who's weathered storms and change in time, they're everything. They're evidence that your mind is sharp, your body still capable, your heart still open. They're not tasks to check off. They're reflections of a life still fully lived. Because at 70, success isn't about being who you once were. It's about continuing to be who you are, with grace, with presence, and with purpose. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters. So take a moment, recognize what you can still do. Celebrate it. Each of these daily actions is proof that your story is still unfolding, and it's far from over. You're not just surviving this stage of life, you're mastering it. Now here's bonus wins for the wise vibrant at 70 plus. Let's add a few more quiet victories to the list, gifts of experience, wisdom, and care that become even more meaningful as you age. Bonus 1. Asking for help. When you need it, a sign of strength, not weakness. If you've learned how to reach out to a friend, a neighbor, a doctor, when something feels off, you've cultivated one of life's most underappreciated strengths: humility with grace. Asking for help is not giving up control. It's recognizing that we're not meant to walk this path alone. It takes courage to speak up, to trust others, and to know your limits without shame. It shows emotional intelligence, and it can make all the difference in moments of need. At 70, if you know when to say, I need a hand, you're not just staying safe, you're staying smart. Bonus 2. Learning something new. Staying curious, staying young. The mind doesn't stop growing unless we stop feeding it. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and grow, continues well into later life. Every new skill, every piece of curiosity, every question you ask, it builds new neural connections and keeps your cognition sharp. So whether it's learning to garden, trying yoga for the first time, or finally figuring out that smartphone, if you're still curious, you're still evolving. Bonus 3. Caring for something beyond yourself, the legacy of generosity. Whether it's a pet, a garden, a cause, a community, or a grandchild, if you're still pouring care into something beyond yourself, you're nourishing life beyond your own body. This kind of purpose is healing. It keeps the heart soft and the mind engaged. It reminds you that your life ripples outward, that your presence still matters in the world. Studies show that older adults with a sense of purpose are significantly less likely to experience depression, cognitive decline, or even premature death. So if you're still giving your time, your love, your wisdom, know this: you're not just aging well, you're leaving behind something meaningful. Closing words: your everyday actions are extraordinary. Every time you climb those stairs, prepare your meal, laugh out loud, or connect with someone you love, you're telling the world, I'm still here, and I'm still choosing to live with energy, dignity, and heart. This isn't about perfection, it's about momentum. And if you've reached this season of life and can still say, I'm active, I'm aware, I'm connected, I'm present, then you are not just winning. You're teaching us all what a well-lived life truly looks like. Here's to your strength. Here's to your stories. Here's to your mastery of the everyday.